Hello, welcome back to the Ball Games 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a Riener Knizias classic. We're going to be talking about a seminal horse racing game. We're going to be talking about a very battered and overused version of Winner's Circle, otherwise known as Royal Turf. And in this game, you'll be betting on horses, and then you'll be rolling a die, moving different horses until 3 have crossed the finish line. And you'll award yourself dosh that will give you money that will allow you to win the game. And in this video, we'll be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, and then we will come back and we'll tell you whether or not Winner's Circle is still worth playing 10,000 years after it was first released in 030 BCE. So remember, if you are new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment down below before you start mucking out our stables, and we will see you after this. So, Winner's Circle, how do you play this game? So what you're going to do in this game, everybody is going to take a chip of a certain colour. You're going to be taking your betting chips. You're going to get 1, 2, 2 ones and a 0, and then you'll lay the board out in the centre of the table, and you'll put the horses up corresponding to the spaces on the board that match the colour of the horses, right? So what you'll do, the first thing you'll do is you'll shuffle the horse tiles, and then you'll lay them out until you've filled up gates number 1 to number 7, and you'll see that each horse has got a different number next to a different symbol. So you've got the horse's head, you've got the saddle, you've got the hat, and then you've got the horseshoe symbol. You're going to elect a player to go first, and then they will place one of their betting chips on one of the horses. The next player will do that, and you'll keep doing that until you've placed all your betting chips on the horses. So the next thing that you're going to do is the starting player will roll the die, they'll look at the symbol, and then they'll choose a horse to move, right? And what we normally do, when you move a horse, rather than saying flipping it over, you just move it slightly off the board, half off the board, so you know that that horse has been moved, because a horse can only move once per round. So you'll look at the symbol, you look at the symbol on the horse card, and you move that particular horse a certain number of spaces, dollar chip. And when a horse moves onto or passes that space, you'll take the $100 chip and you'll chuck it on the horse, and this will be of benefit for betting when you've finished the race. So once a horse crosses the finish line, you'll take him off the board, you'll place him on the winner's spot, you'll flip his tile over so you know that they finished the race, and then you'll keep playing the game until 3 horses have crossed the finish line and they have completed the race, yeah? And then what you do, you'll move on to a bit of scoring, yeah? So you'll look at the horse that came first, you'll flip it over the betting chips. That's how many bets have been placed on the horses. So you look at the little chart, you'll count up the number of bets, and you'll move along the chart until you've come to that number of bets, and then you'll look down at whether it's first, second or third, and that's how much money each player will get per bet. And if the $100 chip is on it, every bet you placed gives you an extra $100, right? So once you've completed that race, then you'll wipe all the horses off, you'll draw some more horses, you'll draw 7 more horses. You'll keep doing this until you've done 3 races, and in the final race, bets are doubled, so that gives you a more incentive or a bit of catch up if you want. And you'll keep doing this for 3 races, and then the player with the most money at the end of the 3rd race will be the winner of Winner's Circle. So what do we like about Winner's Circle? So the first thing that we like about Winner's Circle is that Mr. Knizias has given you a very wide variety of variants. We like to play with the blind betting variant, where you don't know what other players are bet because you place your chips face down. There's also the Royal Turf variant, which came from the original printing of this. So there's good ways to mix up the strategy if the game gets really boring, and that's a really good thing that Mr. Knizias, God bless him, decided to put in the back of the book. Right. So the second thing that we like about Winner's Circle is the way that the game lets you not only move horses that you've bet on, but it also allows you to move horses that opponents have bet on. Because if you roll a crap symbol and you think, well, I don't want to move my horse 1 space because I rolled a horseshoe, you can look along and say, well, you know, old little Granny Mabel over there, she's bet on Seabiscuit, and that's going to move her 1 space. So you can move that as well. And where 2 horses can't share the same space, you could choose a horse that isn't going to move. So that's even better. So there's this sort of dual decision that you've got to make. Are you going to move your horse to benefit you and maybe somebody else, because you might have double bets on that horse, right? Or are you going to stitch somebody up? And that's fantastic. So the third thing that we like about Winner's Circle is the inclusion of the zero betting chip, because this adds an element of bluffing into the game, because you've got to think about where you're going to place that zero chip. Where bets become less valuable the more tokens are placed on a horse, then you could put a zero betting chip on a horse and make somebody think that that horse is now worth less, but it's not. So they're going to go somewhere else, right? Fantastic stuff. So not only you've got the bluffing from when you roll the die, but you've got the bluffing from the placement of the betting chips. Excellent. So the final thing that we like about Winner's Circle is the way that the horses are staggered when you start the game. And what this means is that the white horse is going to have to catch up 7 spaces as opposed to the black horse who starts at the front. So that adds even more decision making and strategy to the game. Are you going to bet on the white horse because it's going to be less popular, but that means it's going to be worth more, right? But you might bet there, and then somebody else might put their zero chip on there to make you think that they're betting on it, but they're not. So there's all these different variables that come into this game, and it all comes together to be a really exciting, simple and yet strategic game that we really do enjoy. So what don't we like about Winner's Circle? So the first thing that we don't like about Winner's Circle is that it may be the case that this game is just one race too long, and we've played this game to death, and we normally play this as a family game. And when we do, our kids tend to sort of get a little bit bored when you're getting to the end of the final race. This game lasts for about an hour tops, and it might be better served if it was just that little bit shorter, you know what I mean? So the second thing that we don't like about Winner's Circle is that it may be the case that at the same time, and there is a variant in the back of the rule book that tells you that if a horse has the same main stat with the horse's head on it as another horse, then you can remove it from the game. So you've got a varied number of horses with different stats, and we've tried this, but then you're going to end up sort of fixing the game in a sense. So it is the fact that the card draw for the horses is random is probably better, but then that may mean some of the races are going to be a little bit boring, and that just adds to the frustration value of the previous point that we made a second ago. So the third thing that we don't like about this is it don't really work at high player counts. 5-6 players, maybe it's a little bit too many, because you're going to end up with a situation where the betting chips are going to be overcrowded, because where the horses are worth less, the more people bet on them. When you're playing with 6 players, all the horses are going to have more than one betting chip on them, and that removes some of the excitement that comes from bluffing and betting on the horses that are lower in the gate rank, you know. So I wouldn't play this with 6 players. Maybe 5 players is tops, but even then that is pushing it a little bit. So the final thing that we don't like about Winner's Circle is it looks like a massive lump of dog shit. It's an awful looking game. Okay, the horse miniatures aren't too bad, but the actual artwork itself sucks. I mean, just look at the artwork. You got that, I suppose it's a gazebo tent thing in the centre, but all it looks like a great pyramid. It's terrible. The component quality in our version is rubbish. I know it's been updated. It was recently reprinted, I think last year or 2 years ago. I don't know, maybe it's 3-4 years ago, who knows. But you've got gold coins and all that sort of thing. But our copy of Winner's Circle looks absolutely terrible, and it's a real shame. It sort of does distract from the quality rule set. So to summarise, is Winner's Circle still worth playing today and in the future? And we're going to say yes, it's a wonderfully simple game that captures the atmosphere and essence of a day at the races. Well, it doesn't really, does it? Because if you've been to the races, you'll know that this game doesn't capture it. But we like to imagine that we are actually sitting in the stands at Goodwood, having a laugh and betting on horses and hoping they come in, right? So it does suffer at higher player counts due to the crowded nature of the betting. But forget that. This is a true classic. It's a wonderful example of Riener Knizias in his golden age of a few years ago, when he was pumping out games left, right and centre. Very simple, sort of mathematically sound, clean designs. And this is a wonderful example of that. And we really do love Winner's Circle. It's on par with our other favourite horse racing game, Long Shot. They both do different things. So if you're looking for a horse racing game, then either go for this if you can find it. If not, go for Long Shot. But you're probably going to find it very difficult to find that game because it's been out of print for years. But Winner's Circle is a fantastic horse racing game. We can't recommend it highly enough. If you can find it, then get it. we're going to give this one 5 stars. We absolutely love this game. And there you go, that's Winner's Circle. So remember, if you are new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, and we'll see you